and they have never been 8-0. So let's just start there. I don't care what the schedule is, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
It's a hard thing to win every week, to be up every week, to take care of your business every week. Was last night a masterpiece? No. But you won, and you keep winning.
You got the W, no question about it. And you're the only team who has been able to overcome every obstacle. And even though a lot of your wins have had flaws, you're the only team still standing that has been able to overcome all your obstacles to be a perfect 8-0. I don't care how you got to 8-0. The bottom line is you are 8-0. You control home field advantage in your conference until further notice. But there's that other side, Rob. And eventually, if this pattern continues, it's going to catch up with them.
Yeah,
there's no question about it. It's going to catch
absolutely.
up with them.
That's all right. Yeah. And we'll get there in 1 sec, because there are concerns. There are definitely concerns.
Yep.
Here's the big thing as far as I'm concerned. You sucked it up. You went there. You won on the road, which is not easy, and it's not as easy travel to Houston, by the way. And I know they're all chartered and all that, but it's not like you're just going down to Baltimore or something like that. So, not an easy thing. As bad as the Texans are, they're not a laydown team either.
No, they're not.
They will fight you, okay? And that's a credit to Lovie Smith and their players. They show up. The positive is, Derek, they continue to show you, the Eagles, that they can run on anybody. Doesn't matter who the opponent is.
No question about it.
Sanders last night, 17 for 93 yards. That's 5.5 yards per carry as a team, Derek. $143 on the ground and more than 4.5. That's always there when you need to pull that out of your back pocket, man. And it was there again last night.
How many games have we seen this season where they get a lead, a team comes back and gets within striking distance or ties them, and all of a sudden they just they flip the switch, turn it on, go down the field, do what they have to do to get it done.
Yep.
We've seen that time and time again, and maybe that's their MO for the season. Mm-hmm. But if you have that ability to do that at any given moment, so be it. I mean, they had wide receivers running wide open in the middle of the field. The tight end screen worked to perfection again. To Goddard, who had 8 catches for 100 yards.
He is so good, man. 8 catches for 100, 12.5 yards per catch and a touchdown, man.
Everything again, Steichen called when he needed to call. It worked to perfection.
Yep.
And that's all you can ask. And the more you do this, the more it bodes you well down the road when you run into tougher situations, that you have an answer for the opposition's answer more times than not in a crucial situation.
I give props too. I thought Kenny Gainwell had some real tough interior runs. He's a smaller guy, breaking tackles. Even on his touchdown, I thought he did a really nice job on that. And to Sanders' credit, he had some quality runs too, but there were some gigantic holes also. The Eagles' offensive line in the run game really opened some stuff up for those guys to have success.
Oh, no question about it. The passing game, we'll get to that. That's another story.
Yeah.
But the run game, I'll tell you what, there's nobody better in the league that can control the line of scrimmage in the run game. Cleveland's really good at it. Green Bay's good at it. But there's very few that can run with authority. Dallas can run. Very few teams that run with authority like that. Mm-hmm. And when you want to control the clock, especially if you're trying to milk a lead and keep the opposition off the field, man, what an ace in your pocket. What a perfect ace in your pocket to have in terms of doing what you have to do to demoralize a defense. And they've done that so many times this season. And that's why they're one of the better running teams in the National Football League.
Oh, for sure. Look, for sure. So, all right, positives in the passing game. We mentioned Goddard, who's just really good. He doesn't probably nationally get the attention that Kelsey and some of the other great ones do.
Right.
But Goddard is, by all means in that conversation. If he's not top 3, he's right below some of those guys. He's that good. He just doesn't put up monster numbers because you have so many other throwing options with A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith.
Yep.
But you mentioned he's good again. I thought early they really schemed up some nice stuff to get A.J. open. The touchdown was beautiful. 4 catches, 59 yards for him, and a score as well. And that's a credit to Steichen. The play calling and the play design I thought was nice on a short week, which isn't easy.
Yeah.
To get those guys ready. For sure. Barry, we're just kind of talking about the passing game right now and how they were able to hurt Houston in the air.
It was one of those things where they didn't know what they wanted to do. They didn't know if they wanted to stop the run, they didn't want to stop the pass. This is the first time I've seen Gannon not really know what to do with the talent that he has. He was trying everything under the sun. He started out with Marlon, put Marlon in their 50 front, because then after the first drive, they knew they had to get a way to stop the run. They had to, so they weren't playing a 50. They tried to go with just a 4-2 front, 4 down lineman.
Right.
Then they came out the second time. After they scored, they came out the second time on the second drive. They ran a bear front, which is their 50 front, and they put Marlon Tuipulotu over the center, and then Hargraves and Fletcher Cox on the guards. And Marlon just isn't that guy. I don't know why they want to make him that guy, but he's just not that guy.
Right.
But then they turn around, they put Wilson in there. And I told you guys they were going to do that.
You did.
They brought Wilson up. Wilson came in, and he started making it happen a little bit. He started making it work. It wasn't until the fourth quarter where they slid Hargrave over, which I would have thought been their first thing that they do, because he's played the position before when he's with the Steelers, that they could stop him. Mm-hmm. And that's when he just went off. I mean, 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. I mean,
he's been awesome. He's been awesome lately.
Those are Reggie White stats.
No question. He was everywhere too. He was close a couple times. I mean, he's been great. I mean, I give him credit. He looks like he looked early last year. He's got that same vibe, about him with the way that he is. He started the season. We talked about the concerning thing on offense, and it's Mailata kind of struggling a little bit. Lane technically gave up his first sack since 2020. And they had their first fumble last night, the strip sack by Steven Nelson.
Right.
Other than that, I mean, they've been great taking care of the football. We know that.
No
They're
question.
great taking the ball away. That's for sure as well, which, we'll dive into in a second. But, all in all, I thought Hurts played well. Would I call it a great night? No, but I'd say it's still really good, man. 21 of 27, 243, 2 touchdowns, no picks, and a 128.9 passer rating. Thought he played really well. He had some heat on him. He got sacked 4 times. A couple times he tried an RPO and Houston sniffed it out. But I thought he played very well.
Well, he did, man. I mean,
he did what he had to do to win the game.
Yeah,
absolutely. And that's the best thing he could do is just go out there and reaffirm the fact that he is playing at a high level, and they can trust him to go out there and make the plays he needs to make. I saw something that I see in the top quarterbacks, and that's the evolution of him understanding, all right, I don't care what the defense is doing, I'm gonna go ahead and win it however way I can do it.
Right.
And that's exactly what he did. And I was listening to Shannon Sharp earlier on today, and he was saying that you can't really put him in the MVP conversation because his numbers won't be there. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because he won't throw for 5,000 yards. That doesn't make an MVP because you can throw for 5,000 yards. If that's the case, then Cousins would be an MVP for 3 or 4 times because that's what he does.
What a horrible take. That tells me he's not watching Eagles games. Seriously. You're not watching Eagles games if you're just looking at his passing.
He's going to have about over 50. Allen's going to have over 50 touchdowns. So what?
Is he paying attention to the rushing touchdowns? Does that come into play?
So if you push all these numbers forward and you analyze them and say, all right, these are predicted what they're going to be by the end of the season, he's not going to have 5,000 yards. Allen will have that. Patrick Mahomes will have that. They will have over 50 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes will have that, and Allen will have that.
Yeah.
But look what Jalen Hurts is doing. Jalen Hurts, there's a possibility he can go 17-0.
Right.
That's right.
And he's got 18 touchdowns. Like, I don't care if you throw him or run him. He's got 18 touchdowns right now. I mean,
right. And then what if he keeps on with the pace he is? He has 12. What if he has 12 touchdowns on the ground and then throws for 20-something touchdowns?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just get in the end zone.
Exactly.
It's funny. I had the same conversation today with Rich Gannon, who's actually won an MVP. Okay.
Right.
And he's one of the people who votes for the MVP. Every player who's still alive who won an MVP is part of the voting process. He has Jalen Hurts number 1 right now, ahead of Josh Allen and ahead of Patrick Mahomes, the guy who played the position. So, just to put it in perspective, what Sharp had to say.
Well, and he's doing it with a pretty good defense. They rank high in a lot of statistical categories, with the exception of the run, which is a major deal with the personnel packages we're about to play as we go forward. When we get to the Titans, when we get to the Giants, when we go back to Dallas, going down to Dallas. Teams that run the ball. In fact, even when we go play the Colts, they're going to try to run the ball on this defense. So Davis not being there has ended up being a little bit more of a hindrance than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I did not know that we were going to need him that much.
I'm telling you, I saw this coming. I'm telling you.
All right, hold that thought.
Wait, but let me just add this. You're talking about the MVP. Okay, Go back to 2019. Lamar Jackson wins the league MVP. He only threw for a little over 3,100 yards passing, okay? But he threw 36 touchdown passes. He won that also, if not more so, because he ran for 1,200 yards as well. So he didn't have these gaudy passing numbers.
Right.
He just a combination of what he did.
Right.
So you got to base it on a combination. And when you look at the combination of what Jalen Hurts is doing, he's absolutely in that MVP conversation. There's no question about it.
No doubt. All right, quick timeout. Let's dig into the defense because there are some things that are concerning, troubling, potentially.
Here we go.
Potentially. We'll see what we'll debate this. We'll kick this around a little bit. We'll do that when we get back. Don't go anywhere. He's Barrett. He's Derek. I'm Rob. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right, let's talk about Pro Action Restoration. Pro Action Restoration is the place that you call or reach out to if you have experienced any type of water damage or flooding, if you've had a fire, if you've had smoke issues, if you have mold issues, any of the above, you call them. They will come out and they will take care of it. They are on call 24 hours, 7 days a week to assist. I have experienced this personally. I called Pro Action on a Saturday. I couldn't believe how quickly they got out there. They had everything cleaned up in a very short period of time. The crew was professional, clean. The price was very reasonable. They are licensed, bonded, and fully insured, and they've been serving the tri-state area for more than 2 decades. Pro Action will work in conjunction with your insurance company also. So water, fire, smoke, mold damage. If you haven't had any of the above, take this number down just in case. You'll be prepared. 610-623-3760, 610-623-3760, or online at proactionrestoration.com. That's proactionrestoration.com.